About a handful of times every year, I go to the movie theaters and I just pick something to watch, not knowing anything about it at a mystery screening, but I end up leaving a lot of the time being pleasantly surprised. Most recent example of that is a crime heist thriller called FUZE, a movie I didn't even know was going to come out, and I bet my life on it you don't even know it's going to come out this week. The movie is directed by David Mackenzie and stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Theo James, Sam Worthington, and the plot of this movie is a lot more complicated than what I'm going to say here, but I'm going to keep it simple for you guys and not give away all of the zigs and zags this movie has. So the movie starts off, you have this construction company digging, and they feel like they stumble upon this bomb from the World War II era. Because of this, they call in Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, a major in the army, and he's there to disarm this bomb. They evacuate this entire city, but while this is going on, little beknownst to the government, you have this little surrogate crew of characters headlined by Sam Worthington, Theo James. They're drilling into a bank across town, and they are attempting to make this giant heist they're going to get away with. Now, this movie is not reinventing the wheel by any means. You have seen movies done like this before, but I will say this, I think this is a very well done version of that type of movie. This movie draws comparisons to films like Die Hard, the Ocean's films, maybe even Inside Man, Reservoir Dogs. So if you like any of the movies I just mentioned, once again, keep this movie on your radar when it comes out, because I think a lot of people, myself included, are going to sleep on this film, or they would have slept on this film had they not seen it early. This is such a fast-paced film. I loved how fast this movie picks up. Within the first 5 minutes or so, you are into the heist, and this movie hardly ever lets up. Sure, the character development suffers a little bit because of that. The dialogue is nothing to write home about, but this is one of these films, again, at 90 minutes. The movie starts off, it picks up, and it does not let up. This is a very brisk watch at 90 minutes. I did not feel the runtime at any point in this film. Never felt inclined to check my phone. There's always something happening in this film. It is such a smart movie. Again, it's a movie you feel like you've seen before, but it is constantly twisting and turning and reinventing itself in a way where it is always one step ahead of you right when you think you have the movie figured out. And I really appreciate that. Not a lot of movies can keep me on the edge of my seat when it comes to writing. A lot of the time I can figure out the movie, I can figure out the twists, I can figure out the overarching theme. This movie made me laugh a couple of times because every single time I thought I had this movie figured out and I had my thumb on its pulse, it completely reinvented itself, and every time it did that, it managed to be a lot better than what it was previously. This movie also has a very effective but simple score that they play. I'm not even kidding. For all but maybe 5 minutes of the movie, you have this ongoing score in the background that feels like the thumping from the SVU Law and Order series. Thump, thump. It's just constantly going at all the scenes in this film besides a couple of dialogue scenes, and because of that, it does add tension to this movie that would otherwise not be there. At a certain point, I noticed it, and from that point on, I could not unnotice it. It was just central to this movie. If you don't have that same score, you don't have that pulse going on, I feel like this movie would play out a lot differently. I gotta give some shout outs to the performances here as well. Again, the characters themselves, not incredibly fleshed out. That's not really the point of this film. It is more of just a relentless thriller. But I thought Theo James especially stole the show here. That dude is really starting to grow on me. When his career started off, I was not a super fan of him. But between the monkey and this, I feel like he's a very good actor. He's very dramatic at points. He's kind of funny. He offers a couple of comedic relief moments. And I just really enjoyed his character. Again, I'm not going to give away too much, so it's very hard to describe some of the details of why I liked him. But I like the evolution of his character and how he plays it, because his character starts off as one thing, changes into something else by the end. You even have a couple of flashbacks where you learn about him before the events. And all of those different sections of the movie, he is a different character, and I think he portrays them all in a way where they stand out apart from one another, and I think that is a talent to pull off. I also really enjoy the other two here. You have Aaron Taylor Johnson, Sam Worthington. They're both always really good in everything. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is good here though, because he is kind of the second lead and his story is detached from the main one for a while. And I think the way his character once again starts off and finishes based on both flashbacks and the connection to the heist does feel different from one section to the other. So I have to shout out both of these guys. I think they do play a wide range for both of their characters. And even if I say their dialogue isn't the strongest, I really enjoy how basically every character you encounter at some point in this movie, all of the side characters eventually become central to what the plot is all about. Even the most insignificant characters you meet at some point will eventually tie into the overarching crime thing that's going on and the giant plot where all of these characters eventually overlap. And that's just smart writing to me. Not a lot of movies can pay that off. A lot of the time you can look back and go, why was that character there? Why did that person do this? This is one of the films where I think it does actually all come together in a fulfilling way. I also really enjoyed the way the actual crime plays out in this film, and it's weird to say that because we have had so many different bank robbery movies, but I like the use of technology in this one. I have never seen a bank robbery that did it exactly like this, so when they got out their equipment and they were doing it, I was like, Oh shit, I've never seen that before. So kudos to this movie, because for a movie that could again feel so generic and so played out amongst this genre, it manages to feel very smart, very unique, and very stylized. It's very fast paced. It's a memorable version of this movie. The only negatives I have of this movie, to be honest, and they're kind of nitpicks, is I couldn't understand some of the dialogue here. I kind of wish I got to see this movie with subtitles on, but that's just a specific thing to me. This movie takes place in Britain, I believe, and a lot of people have very thick British accents, and a lot of other ethnicities as well have their accents in play. So there were some lines, especially when the dialogue is muffled and they're whispering amongst each other, I wasn't 1000% sure what they were saying. Again, could just be my theater, could just be me and my interpretation, but I thought some of the dialogue here was shaky. It's kind of surface level, and I just literally couldn't understand it. And really, the only other negative I have here is I think the ending of this movie, as good as it is, the way it ties it all together, does end incredibly abruptly, and it is kind of comedically out of place. This movie is not a very funny movie overall, but the final scene of this movie plays out straight like a comedy, and the fact that it just cuts dead to black after that is kind of an odd choice. They explain some of the choice in the ending credits, but overall it felt a little bit out of place based on the rest of the pace this movie moves at. I was thoroughly impressed with FUZE. I actually thought this was going to be Hokum, and I was looking forward to that movie, but this movie being the movie, kind of happy it was, because I think I would have skipped this movie otherwise. But yeah, I had a great time with this one. So if you guys check out FUZE when it comes out later this week, I recommend you do. Come back, comment down below, or let me know what your favorite action, crime, heist, thriller is. If you like this review, my name is Sean. As always, like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, join the channel. I'll put a link up here to my other reviews this year. You want to check any of those out, but I will see you in the next review.